Have you ever noticed how your body can be perfectly still, but your mind feels like it has been running a marathon all day? You sit down, nothing is happening, no noise, no urgency, and yet inside, it feels crowded. Thoughts stacking on thoughts, memories replaying, imaginary conversations looping, plans forming, warnings flashing, as if rest never fully arrives. Here is the psychology behind people who feel mentally busy even when still. This is not about being dramatic, and it is not about lacking discipline. It is about how certain minds were trained to survive, adapt, and stay alert long before rest ever felt safe. If this feels familiar, stay with me, because by the end of this, something about you might finally make sense. Point 1. Your mind learned that stillness does not equal safety. For many people, mental busyness did not start randomly. It started as protection. If you grew up in an environment where unpredictability was normal, emotional, or physical, your brain learned an important rule. Stay alert, stay prepared, stay ahead. When things were quiet, something could still go wrong. Silence did not mean peace. It meant waiting, so your mind filled the gaps, scanning for threats, running scenarios, replaying moments to catch mistakes. Psychology calls this hypervigilance. It is common in people who had to read moods early, who learned to sense tension before words were spoken, who became good at predicting outcomes because being wrong had consequences. The problem is that the brain does not forget this rule easily. Even when life becomes calm, the nervous system still believes danger is possible. So when the body rests, the mind stays on duty, not because it wants to torture you, but because it believes it is keeping you safe. Point 2. You associate productivity with worth, even in your thoughts. Some people were praised for doing, for achieving, for thinking ahead, for being responsible beyond their age. Over time, productivity stopped being something you did. It became who you were. So even when you stop moving, your mind keeps working, planning, analyzing, improving, fixing imaginary problems. This is linked to a cognitive bias called conditional self-worth, the belief that you are valuable only when useful. Rest feels uncomfortable because it feels undeserved. Silence feels wasteful. Doing nothing feels like falling behind. So your mind creates tasks even when none exist. It replays the past to find lessons. It simulates the future to prevent regret. From the outside, you look calm. From the inside, you are running meetings with yourself. Point 3. You are highly self-aware, but you do not know how to turn it off. Mental busyness is often mistaken for anxiety, but in many cases, it is heightened self-awareness. You notice patterns others miss. You reflect deeply. You analyze motives. You replay conversations not because you are insecure, but because you are trying to understand. This trait is common in people high in emotional intelligence and openness. Your mind likes depth. It likes meaning. It likes connecting dots. The issue is not that you think too much. It is that no one taught you when to stop. Your brain does not have a clear off switch. So reflection turns into rumination. Insight turns into overanalysis. You lie still, but your mind is reviewing your entire existence like a documentary series. Point 4. Your brain confuses preparation with control. Many mentally busy people believe that if they think long enough, they will finally feel at ease. If they replay the scenario, if they predict every outcome, if they rehearse every response, this is the illusion of control. Psychology shows that the brain often overestimates how much thinking actually changes outcomes. But thinking feels active. It feels responsible. It feels safer than uncertainty. So instead of resting into the present moment, your mind stays in preparation mode. The irony is that this constant preparation steals the very calm you are trying to create. You are not anxious about what is happening. You are busy trying to make sure nothing ever goes wrong. Point 5. Stillness exposes emotions you are taught to manage, not feel. When the body slows down, emotions rise. And for some people, that is the real threat. If you learned early that feelings were inconvenient, overwhelming, or ignored, you developed a skill. You thought your way out of them. Logic became your shield. Thinking became your coping strategy. So when life gets quiet, emotions start knocking. Grief, anger, loneliness, desire. The mind responds by speeding up, by filling space with noise, by staying busy internally so nothing else gets through. This is why meditation can feel uncomfortable for some people. Not because they are doing it wrong, but because stillness removes the distraction. Your mental busyness is not random. It is a learned way of staying regulated. Point 6. You live more in your inner world than your external one. Some minds are simply more internal. You think in layers. You reflect more than you react. You process life inwardly. This is common in introverted and intuitive personality types. Your inner world is rich, complex, and always active. The challenge is that the modern world rarely teaches how to balance this. So instead of using your inner world intentionally, it runs automatically. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not failing at rest. Your mind is busy because it is powerful. The problem is not your capacity to think. It is the absence of boundaries around your thinking. So what is the takeaway? Feeling mentally busy even when still does not mean something is wrong with you. It means your mind learned to survive by staying engaged. But survival mode is not the same as living. Rest is not the absence of thought. It is the ability to let thoughts pass without chasing them. Calm is not achieved by thinking harder. It is built by teaching your nervous system that nothing bad happens when you stop. The goal is not to silence your mind. It is to stop believing every thought deserves your attention. If your mind feels busy right now, do not fight it. Notice it. Thank it for trying to protect you, and gently remind it that you are safe enough to pause. If this felt like someone finally put words to your inner experience, you are not alone. And you are not strange for feeling this way. Subscribe for more psychology that explains people, not fixes them. And if you know someone who is always tired despite resting, share this with them. It might help them understand themselves a little better.